early leader to start. Very early leader. I feel like the Browns were talking about a lot. Like, we were doing like a height machine, one of those like those gauges, those meters that rate like hype and like a noisemaker.
Yes.
We are at a 10 with the Browns. We were talking about them once an hour. We are in love with their draft. We gave them an A+. You know, they added to their offensive line. We did 4 downs on them today. Their fans are showing up. Yeah. But are we too much on red?
There's got to be a look in the mirror for Browns fans and say, who's starting under center week 1? It's Cody Kessler. Okay, well then let's keep realistic expectations here, because the Ravens have Joe Flacco, the Steelers have Ben Roethlisberger, and the Bengals just added a whole bunch of offense and speed with John Ross and those guys.
Okay, Peter, who cares? We're not talking about them. We're talking about the Browns.
That's fair, but I just don't know if we're going to celebrate their draft and offseason, how we can do that and give them A+ across the board, which everyone in media has done, when they still have not found themselves a quarterback that they're crowning as their guy. Like, Cody Kessler had a nice season. He got injured. He got beat up last year, so they built up the offensive line. But
right.
I guess, you know, the 3rd-round pick from last year to USC who didn't win a game, and for us to say, Kaiser's not the guy, or Osweiler's going to have a chance, and Cody Kessler, it's kind of like, oh, wait a second, let's look at reality here. We know in the NFL you need a quarterback to actually win these games.
Right.
And if Cody Kessler's our guy, and I like Cody Kessler.
I do too. He didn't have a nice season. He didn't. I mean, there was a terrible season.
He was better than expected.
Of course. And I don't mean to be super negative. I like the Browns. I've rooted for him.
But he got hurt.
Yeah, but they didn't win a game. And he didn't win a game. To your point, Kay, the meter thing, it's out of control. And I've fed into that. I said their draft was 158.3. Yay, the Browns. It's one of the worst teams we've ever seen in history.
Yep.
And they added some good-looking rookies. So, you know, I don't know if they're going to be 3-13 next year, but, like, when we're in the fall, we're not going to be talking about them nearly as much as we are now. There's a lot of off-season freezing cold takes about Cleveland right now. A lot. And I like what they're doing. I want to see them better. I think the NFL's better when the Browns are good. I just don't know if they will be.
Trubisky's going to be playing for the Bears, right?
Right.
They passed on him. Carson Wentz is going to be playing for the Eagles. They passed on him. Watson will be playing for the Texans. Right. They passed on him. The list goes on. Mahomes is going to be a Chiefs quarterback in the next 5 years. All these guys are being passed on, and they're not saying Kaiser's our guy. We're so excited about Kaiser. So when I hear Cody Kessler, it's kind of I forgot. Like, Cody Kessler's their quarterback week 1.
Okay, let's take everything at face value. First and foremost, let's not constantly remind the Browns, the guys they passed up on. Let's embrace the guys that they did pick up, and they improved across the board. And when you talk about protecting their quarterback, whoever it may be, with Hugh Jackson saying Kessler now, they're going to protect him a lot better than they did last year. We're expecting big things from Crowell, running back position. Josh Gordon got denied. That's disappointment, but they're still going to have to figure out what we're doing at the wide receiver position. Njoku, hopefully he can come in right away and help this offense. They improved tremendously just in the draft alone.
But so did everybody else.
It's fine. Everybody else is going to improve. That's the name of the game. That's why we have the offseason free agency. That's why we have the draft. But the question was, did the Cleveland Browns do exactly what they needed to do in free agency in the draft to improve? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Listen, they were happy with the quarterbacks they got.
Kaiser.
And we all said at this table, you can like a quarterback, but don't get a guy unless you fall in love with a quarterback.
That's fair.
They weren't in love with any of the guys they passed up on. Now, let's protect the guy and put him in a position to be successful. The reason I like Hugh Jackson going out and saying Kessler's our guy right now is because when you cause ultimate confusion throughout the offseason and you wait until the last minute to crown your quarterback, that's ultimate confusion for players. We've seen plenty of teams deal with that. You've seen the Jets struggle and never rebound from the simple fact that they wouldn't point out a guy. And then they're playing carousel rides and nobody knows who the quarterback is. As a wide receiver, that's the most frustrating thing, because I'm looking up top at the front office, sitting in my locker thinking, if you don't believe in the guy,